Good morning. This is Mark Bruno, editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, and it's Friday, which means Frank is with us. Before we bring Frank out, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any topics for future considerations, shoot us a comment, and we'll definitely consider them. So, good morning, Frank. I understand we have a special guest from Applied Innovation with us.
Yes, we certainly do. We have the main man, John Lowery. John, welcome.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing great, and so kind of you to take time from your busy schedule to join us. You know, John, one of the things that we learn from our surveys are the common concerns. And in this last survey, if lack of profitability didn't come up once, it came up 100 times. And so obviously it's real. We've heard this before, but we saw evidence of it. And what is Applied Innovation doing to deal with this situation?
So I think a couple of things. One is that we still think that the imaging business is really a great space to be in. Managed properly, you can be profitable. However, saying that, if I take a look at where we were in 2019, total clicks per device of 5,500 versus where we are now in post-COVID at 3,750. To us as an entire company with the total number of devices that we're managing, that means $3 million per month less revenue coming in on the service side. So do you have to address it? Without a doubt. So a couple of ways that we're doing that. To me, one of the most important, we started it years ago because we kind of went through an exercise and thought, gosh, what if the market dropped by about 30% on our aftermarket? What would we do? Because at the time that would be, a substantial difference. And so that's when we decided to get into the IT business. So that's one thing. I think dealers need to make sure that they're uncovering other streams of reoccurring revenue. For us, it's been things like the IT business, the telephone business. We've also got into audio visual. We've done more of a real commitment to production print. And then we've also got in the shredding business because it still is a decent business. And we've also got into medical waste. So, but I will say, in combination with all of those, there's still dealerships out there, small dealers that I think are good targets for us to go and make an acquisition. We're doing those things and along with some organic growth, and the organic growth isn't quite happening as fast as what we like.
You touched on one of my favorite subjects, is production print. We've been advocating this for a long time, and when we visited you, we were very impressed with what you were doing in terms of production. And that's been a while since we've been out to Grand Rapids. What's going on in production? Do you see, besides what you have traditionally enjoyed doing business, do you see new opportunities developing within production?
Yeah, certainly there are. Years ago, you talked to us about inkjet and how that was in kind of, we adopted that, and we haven't placed a lot of them, but we have certainly placed some of the Kyoceras. We're talking with people about the Ricos and the Canon products that are going to be available to us. But I think that there is an opportunity on whether it's offline or online finishing. There's lots of opportunity and additional revenue there. It isn't going to give you the recurring revenue. You might get a service contract on it, but I do think there's an opportunity there. And certainly the wide format stuff for us has really, really been great.
Well, that's good to hear, because the manufacturers are going to be coming out, I think, specifically, in my opinion, based upon what we've read by way of announcements coming out of Japan. Konica Minolta, Kyocera, and Ricoh really have some very, very interesting developments. In fact, we had Frank Malosi from KM on the Fridays with Frank, and Frank was talking about their new labeling machine. you get involved in labeling or in any of the packaging or any of these other issues in the production print?
Well, interesting that you say that. When when I guess it was not quite 2 years ago, went to Tokyo along with Canon, we visited their factory. We got a demonstration that was really kind of for the American dealers, the first look at the IX 1700. Well, just to the side of that was a label printer. We're like, hey, how can we get that? How can we get that? So do I think, yeah, anything that, has to do with a similar technology that we can place, and 23% of our base, Frank, is manufacturing. So we've got some medical manufacturing that we do so there's lots of opportunity for label printing, without a doubt. It's something that we're going to look into.
As I believe Frank pointed out, you got the base engine. There's a hell of a lot of things you can get that same engine to do so many different things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really how Canon looked at it with the IX 1700. They said, we've got this inject technology. Let's see what else we can do with it. So that isn't available to us yet, but certainly something that we'd like to take a look at.
Do you see anything else out there that dealers can take advantage of?
Not on the imaging side. I think some of the stuff that's probably the toughest for us to look at is the decline in A3, and also a decline in A4. And then printers, the single function printers are practically the number of units sold was cut in half. So I don't know if I agree with their numbers that it's going to continue to decline. And I hope that I'm, not like a Kodak who's just looking at film's always going to be around. We know that the imaging business is changing, but those were some pretty big drops. And I'm hopeful, and we kind of came back after COVID a little bit. We were still below 2019 and 2018 numbers, but hopefully those numbers can inch up a little bit. I like to say to our folks, we're not going to participate in that decline in business. We're just going to go out and do what we've always done. But we've got to be cognizant of that because it's a real thing.
Well, what you say is what we've believed for the longest time. Now, it's easy as us as observers to say, yeah, you can do this, and not go through the pain and going through the resources that you have to use to do these things. But I just have a great belief in you guys, and I mean this sincerely. I'm not just trying to be nice. I've seen too much in my 50 years in this business. Each new development coming out, and everybody in the old days would say dealers can't do this. Dealers can't sell facsimile. Dealers can't sell color. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Dealers can't sell a copier connected to a computer. These were all things you weren't supposed to be able to do. So yeah. I'm hopeful.
Our why is really, we're passionate about delivering a tremendous service experience. And if it's copiers, great. If it's IT, great. If it's AV or if it's telephone or production print, whatever it may be, we're a service business and we're very focused on delivering a great service experience. So do I know exactly what we're going to do going in the future? No, I don't. I mean, right now, across the street, we've started working on medical waste. So the Sharpies, the Sharp containers, similar to what we've done with the shredding business. So it's a supply and pick up and recycle, and that we're doing the same thing on the medical side. And so we're losing our tail right now, but we're in it for the long haul, and I think eventually it'll be a really good business.
Well, John, thank you so much, and I'm betting on you, pal.
Thanks, Frank.